Hey everybody, welcome back to Vanland. So we have just finished installing a complete exterior kit by Rugged Design Concepts. And I have to say, I am super impressed with the quality of all of their equipment. We have definitely used some of their stuff in the past, but this particular roof rack and the ladder is new to us. Also, the side steps have just been recently redesigned, and I think we got one of the first sets of the new design. So I wanted to go over the full setup with you guys, show you all of the features, and also show you kind of how we installed it, which might be an example for how you want to do your van. So let's start with the newly redesigned side steps by Rugged Designs. So we have worked with these side steps before, but the previous generation had the tubular support on the top of the step. And when we ordered this kit, we called Rugged to ask them if they could potentially move the step plate to the top. Fortunately, they said this was already in design and that we would get one of the first steps with the new layout. So this step is one of the best ones that we've seen. It has a nice wide foot deck on it, and it also will not let your foot slide underneath the pinch weld here, which is really nice, so it's a safe step. You could definitely use this one barefoot. Has a nice finish to it. The powder coating is really nice. One of the things I will mention is that this is one of the steps that is tighter up to the vehicle. So this van is pretty tall. It's a 4x4 van. It also has a 2-inch lift on it and then 17-inch rims. So right now we're still about 18 inches or the equivalent of 4 Snickers bars from the ground. So it is quite a step to get up here. There are different steps that would bring the step deck down a few inches. For instance, the Rome built is a little bit lower. This would be more appropriate for somebody who knows they're going to be off-road and they don't want to have the chance of really anything scraping up against the side step. Everything from Rugged has really good quality welds to it. Their powder coating in the products we've used in the past did not chip very easily. So I would expect these to look good for years to come. And definitely the design is on point for a Sprinter van. One other comment is that the guys in the shop said that these Rugged steps were one of the easiest sets of side steps that they've ever done before. So often you have to work with other things underneath the van to make sure that everything fits and sometimes do modifications. The guy said that these were really easy, which is another bonus. Okay, so let's head back and look at probably one of the most unique pieces of gear that goes with this kit, and certainly one of my favorites, which is the Rugged Design rear bumper. So this is one of the most stout bumpers. It has a nice large deck on it. When you're in the van and you're actually going to step out the back, this is probably one of the safest bumpers. Again, just because it has a nice wide step in it. It's flush up to the rear bumper of the van. A couple of the features to mention, you are able to keep the factory hitch, so you don't have to remove that. And then another thing, you can move the rear parking sensors to the back of the bumper here. And that's really nice because this van has quite a bit of gear on the back. So we've matched it with the Alvan's tire carrier and then also the B2 with the box. And since we've moved the sensors back, this gets absolutely no warnings when backing up with regards to the parking sensors. So basically you're able to extend these back and not have to worry about the van trying to either slow you down when you're backing up or giving you a bunch of false signals. So this is the Rugged Designs side ladder. Also very sturdy, pretty much everything you would expect. A nice wide step with some cutouts for traction on it. One of the things I've mentioned before when you're looking at a roof rack and a side ladder and side steps, you do typically have to use the same manufacturer for all of them. Otherwise, there's a lot of scenarios where they will not fit together properly. So obviously, if we buy the roof rack, the side ladder, and the steps all from one company, then everything interfaces together. You can see here, for instance, the side step goes underneath the ladder. The ladder is connected to the pinch weld, and just the way they've designed it, everything does work together. If you're using different brands, you're very likely going to get some interference either down here or at the top where the roof rack is connected. So just taking a look at the functionality of this ladder, very sturdy. Again, everything from Rugged seems to have really nice welds on it, nice powder coating. Climbing up it, it does have a bit of a cutout for the wheel. And we've got this on a 144 with a flare here, so the distance off of the van is also pretty much spot on. Obviously, you don't want to have a ladder that's so far out that it might be scraping things, or so close in that your feet are going to be hitting the van as you're walking up the ladder. So, climbing this, definitely very sturdy, felt really good getting up. The attachment points up here, you can tell just by looking at it that it's never gonna move on you. You've got 3 really solid points that it attaches to the roof rack up here. Okay, come on up here and we'll show you one of the coolest roof decks that we've ever installed. This is the Baja roof rack by Rugged Designs, and it has the LP6 lights on the front on a curved bar. One thing you notice about this rack immediately is that how big it is. So this rack in particular does not have the side rails except for in the back. And also it extends out just a few inches, maybe 4 inches beyond the roof rail on each side, and then as well as at the front and the back. So just the sheer amount of space that you have up here compared to other roof racks that we use, this one definitely feels a lot bigger, even though it's just on a 144. So some of the things we've done here, we did 2 cutouts, one for the Max fan and one for the skylight. We've got a Zamp Obsidian solar panel mounted up here. That's a really great solar panel choice for something like this because there's no wind fairing. So the aerodynamic solar panel is definitely the way to go. I drove this van yesterday at highway speeds and there was no whistling or anything. The deck on here, again, is just really well done. This is obviously all laser cut. They really take time to make sure all the welds are done well, and then everything is kind of polished off so there's no rough edges. Around the cutouts, both for the fan and the skylight, Rugged has done a trim piece. They kind of took it an extra step rather than just cutting out the deck and leaving that, which you probably could. They've actually manufactured and welded on a trim piece, just giving it a nice finished edge. This is the back portion of the rack. This is an accessory that Rugged sells, which is like a bit of a side rail that gets bolted on. So the rack itself didn't come with this, but we've added one to the back here. You could also put one on the front. This is just a little bit of support for anything you might want to mount up here or tie down. Just gives you something to tie down to. Again, we did another cutout here for the Arctic Tern roof hatch skylight. It's plenty big enough. It looks like, based on the measurements, they've added a couple inches around those. A couple of the accessories we've added to this rack, we do have a Fiamma awning on here. One of the nice things is that you can install the Fiamma awning directly onto the Rugged rack without any special brackets. Just because on the side it does have a few mounting locations where you can space out the awning brackets. We've also done some Baja scene lights on the rack. So we have 2 in the back and then 1 on each side. And those are the little S2 scene lights. They're controllable from switches inside the van. So if you're backing up or you're just loading gear and it's dark out, those illuminate the area around the van really nicely. And again, the way that the Rugged roof rack is designed, we didn't actually have to do any special bracketing. We were able to attach these right to the rack, and they're in really good locations as well. So on the front of the Rugged roof rack, it does have the drop-down bar that will accommodate the LP6 lights. So we've added 6 of the clear LP6 lights on the top of the roof rack, and then we've also paired it with the CA-tuned front bumper with 2 amber LP6s on it. So if you're the type of person who's gonna be off-road and you want to spread a lot of light around, certainly 8 of the LP6 lights on the front of the van will do it. One thing to mention, with the California tuned bumper and the Alvans equipment that we have on the back, the Rugged gear goes perfectly with it. They're sort of designed the same way with the bent round aluminum tube. So if you're looking for a setup that looks great and is of the highest quality, then I think the way that we did this van is my favorite way and the best look that we've ever done on a complete exterior kit. Okay, one caveat guys, if you are looking for some of the rugged gear, it does take a while to get. So this is not stuff that's kept on the shelf. There's often a bit of a lead time. So you guys contact us if you want to know how long it's going to take to get any of this equipment or anything else that you might need for your van. And we can give you our best guess on when you might receive it. Okay, let us know in the comments what you think about this setup. This was certainly one of my favorite looks on a van, but I want to know what you guys think as well. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you again next time.